Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday. I hope all is well. I hope the week has not been dragging too much and you've certainly had the World Cup to keep you entertained. Some good games going on the last few days, some exciting stuff, and hopefully another couple of big ones to come over the next couple of days as the group stages comes to an end. I'll talk a little bit about the World Cup later on in this video, look at what's going on with the Arsenal players. And I suppose this actually where we're going to start is certainly World Cup orientated, because I'm sure you saw the news late last night that England put out that Ben White has left the squad because of personal reasons and that he is not expected back at the tournament. Now, it's a big shame for Ben White, of course, who was very, very happy to get the call up. He hadn't played, obviously, wasn't involved in the game on Tuesday night against Wales. FA saying that was down to him being ill. But obviously it seems like something bigger is going on. In the statement that the FA released yesterday, they called for everyone to respect Ben White's privacy at this time, which again suggests there's something going on somewhere in his life at the moment, and it's not really right to speculate because I don't know. Arsenal quite rightly aren't talking about it and aren't saying what's exactly going on, because why should they? This is obviously a big personal reason for Ben White, and that's why he has left the squad. So big shame for Ben White. Hopefully all is well and he can take whatever time he needs to go through whatever he's going through and come back soon and everything gets sorted and everyone is safe and well. I mean, big shame for him professionally when you're talking about football-wise. I mean, the World Cups don't come along too often, and yes, he hadn't played, but even so, just to be in the squad, to be there, you don't know how many times you're going to get selected for a World Cup, if at all, and so to be there and then have to leave earlier, it's a big shame. But some things, whatever's going on, some things are bigger than football, and you have to take time to sort out whatever's going on in your life. So fingers crossed for Ben White that things are okay, and he and his loved ones, everyone else is all right, and he can be back playing football as soon as possible. Sort of elsewhere in the World Cup, some interesting games over the next couple of days. I mean, Tomiyasu's playing today. Japan are playing today. Whether Tomiyasu is involved, we'll have to wait and see, because he has had this injury issue. He didn't play the second game. He'd done his hamstring. At the end, he felt his hamstring. He said afterwards that it wasn't too serious. He felt his hamstring, and he was hoping to be back for this game today. Japan playing Spain. A lot riding on these games, obviously. And for Japan, they'd absolutely want Tomiyasu on. You saw the impact he made when he came on in the game against Germany on the opening game. When they were losing, he came on. They won 2-1. He played a big part in that sort of final half an hour in helping turn things around so dramatically for Japan. He's a very experienced player, top quality player. So they will want him to be involved in this one against the Spain side, who hit the ground running in sensational style, really, on the opening day, as they brushed aside Costa Rica, but then they didn't score against they did score. It was 1-1, wasn't it, against Germany, but found things more difficult in that Germany game. So everything's still on the line in that match. I mean, Germany somehow could end up going through, having lost that opening game to Japan. Only got a point against Spain in the second game. You still probably look at it and think they're favourites to go through today, because if they win their match and then Costa Rica lose as well. No, sorry. If Spain beat Japan and then Germany beat Costa Rica, then Germany go through, even though they haven't won either of their first two games, which is pretty mad, but it's the way the World Cup goes. But having said that, the way matches have been going in this World Cup and how shocks have been happening and how results you expect to happen don't pan out that way, you never know, and hopefully we're going to have another exciting day's action. So good luck to Tomiyasu. Tomorrow promises to be one hell of a game, one hell of a day in the World Cup. I think we've got Brazil in action, which is always a good thing. They're already through. We know that. They've won their first two games. They haven't conceded a goal yet. For me, they've looked the best team in the tournament, which isn't exactly rocket science, because Brazil are a very, very good team. But when you look at them defensively and you look at their attacking options, it's just frightening who they can bring off the bench. We could well be seeing Gabriel, Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus get a start tomorrow, which will be good in terms of an Arsenal point of view. Gabriel Jesus, I really hope he scores. I know what it means to him to score in the World Cup. He got such criticism last time when he didn't score and Brazil didn't go on and win it, and I know people sort of close to the Brazil squad. So Brazilian journalists who you've spoken to about that, they've all say how much that impacted Gabriel Jesus, and just, you know, it'd be great to see him score. I think in the first 2 games, whenever he's come off the bench, it's been really noticeable how much he's been desperate to score. You can see when he hasn't been passed the ball by a teammate, when he's in a good position, you can see he gets angry, he gets frustrated, he just needs a goal, and it'd be great if he could score tomorrow. And it'd be brilliant to see Martinelli start as well. I really like the fact that he came on in that first game and he got his World Cup debut. He didn't feature in the second game, but if he does start tomorrow, it'd be a great opportunity for him. And Thiago Silva's been speaking about Jesus and Martinelli in the build-up to the game. I thought this was quite interesting what he said. He said, you can see the connection they've had this season with Arsenal. It's a big reason why they're top of the Premier League. Jesus, we've known all about his quality for a long time, but Martinelli is really showing what he's about. He's playing without fear, and if he gets the chance to play, I don't think it will faze him, and he'll just do what we know he can do. I think all attacking players at the top level need that little bit of arrogance. They know they can do something special, and he has that. He does, and you know, I think Martinelli is one of those players. Whatever team you play for or whatever team you support, he's one of those players where, even though, say you're a Spurs fan, say you're a Chelsea fan, and you hate Arsenal, obviously, he's one of those players that secretly you probably actually do quite like a little bit, even though you don't tell anyone, because of his work ethic, for the way he plays, for his finishing, just the pace that he runs at. He's just one of those players who catches your eye and think, yeah, he's pretty good. I wouldn't mind him in our team. And, you know, if he can just add a few more goals to his game, and he's got better in that this season, no doubt about it. He's already on 5 this season. If he can just go a little bit better, you know, and that's to come because he's still so young. He's still at the early stage of his career. He's got everything needed to be an absolute world beater. And you look at what Thiago Silva says there, and he's absolutely spot on. And that partnership between him and Jesus has obviously played an absolutely key role in Arsenal's success this season. It'd be great to see that on the pitch tomorrow for Brazil. So yeah, fingers crossed. That'll certainly be one game to keep an eye on. And then you have, which arguably, with everything around it, is just going to be an absolute belter, and that's Uruguay versus Ghana. We all remember what happened in 2010 in the South Africa World Cup, how close Ghana were to making the semi-finals, one Luis Suarez hand away from making the semi-finals, and then of course one Asamoah Gyan penalty miss away from making the semi-finals, and everything that's been around that, the whole build up to it. Suarez has just done the press conference with Uruguay. One of the Ghanaian journalists asked him a question and basically said that he's viewed by most people in Ghana as the devil himself. And it's brilliant that Uruguay put Suarez up to actually take the questions in this one. I think it's, you know, some teams, I think of Arsenal in this regard. If it was a club football, Arsenal, there's no way they'd put that player up to face the questions. But Uruguay have done that. They've put Suarez up. He's taken the questions. He's taken a lot of the grief from the Ghanaian journalists, like he said, calling him the devil himself. And he said, "No, I wasn't the one who missed the penalty. Because they was asked, do you want to apologise for it?" He's like, "Well, I didn't miss a penalty. If I'd fouled someone and injured them, then I'd apologise." And fair play to him. Everyone would have done what he did in their situation. This is a country playing for your country in a World Cup quarter-final. They're about to lose in the last minute, and so you just stick your hand out and you keep it out. You take the red card and then hope they miss a penalty, and that's exactly what happened. And for Ghana, obviously, it was just a nightmare moment, heartbreaking moment. They were that close. And so you can understand why they have that ill feeling towards Suarez. But it's just a brilliant game. I can't wait to watch it. The atmosphere, everything around it. And the press conference has certainly sort of hyped it up even more. And yeah, for Thomas Partey, what a huge occasion it's going to be. It's obviously they've got the chance to go through and book their spot in the knockout stages, but it's also got the soap opera around it of Uruguay, of Luis Suarez, and who might well start on the bench, to be honest, because he was so bad in the first game. He started on the bench in the second game, but even so, it's got all this sort of ingredients there to be an absolute belter of a game, both on the pitch and off the pitch. So looking forward to that one. So plenty of Arsenal interest to look forward to over the next couple of days as the World Cup group stages come to an end, and then it is all about the knockout stages next week, and who can take their chance, who can progress, and who can get a little bit closer to winning this tournament. Let me know what you guys think. What have you thought of the World Cup so far? Who's the player who's impressed you most? Which Arsenal player has impressed you most? Anything you want to say about the World Cup or what you've heard in this video, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, so a little bit of news elsewhere. I thought this one was quite interesting. Sven Mislintat, remember him? It feels like ages ago now, doesn't it, when Sven Mislintat was at Arsenal and in charge of transfers. I mean, he came in just before Wenger left. Then he didn't last too long after Wenger left, and Raul came in, and there was sort of disagreements over what role he was going to have. He was hoping he was going to be promoted to one of the sort of sporting director roles. Basically, it didn't happen. He ended up going. He's been at Stuttgart. He's now just left Stuttgart, and it seems that he's quite keen on going to Liverpool, who are going to have a vacancy in the sporting director role at the end of the season, I think it is. I did write it down. Yeah, he leaves at the end of the season, doesn't he, Julian Ward, which was a really surprise departure, and kind of shows a little bit about the uncertainty going on behind the scenes at Liverpool, that Julian Ward's gone as well. And Sven Mislintat is apparently very, very keen on speaking to Liverpool about that post, as you can imagine, because it's a huge job in football. And it's weird when you look back at that, Sven. There was so much excitement about Sven Mislintat and what he was going to bring to Arsenal when he arrived. It just didn't quite work out, wasn't it? When you look at his signings, none of them really have been a major success. I mean, obviously he had, played a part in Aubameyang, but I mean that's a given. You sign Aubameyang at peak of his powers, he's going to play well, he's going to score goals, because you knew what you were signing, one of Europe's best strikers. But then you look at else. I mean, Guendouzi, that was a success. I mean, it didn't really work out at Arsenal, but you look at where Arsenal signed him from, what he was and where he is now, and the level he's playing at now for France. You have to say that was a really genius bit of talent spotting from Sven Mislintat. But other than that, I mean, who are you looking at? Mkhitaryan, Lichtsteiner, Socrates, those sort of players. It just didn't quite work out. I think when they signed him, and he was known as Diamond Eye, wasn't he? Everyone got really excited about these gems that Arsenal were going to be signing from nowhere, almost harking back to the early Arsene Wenger days when he used to do it, but it just didn't quite work out. He has done very well at Stuttgart, though. He did decently there. Got in some good signings for them. So, yeah, interesting to see if he does go to Liverpool, what sort of job he will do. But that will be for the end of the season anyway. Elsewhere, not really too much going on in the world of Arsenal. It's all going to start ramping up, though. Don't worry, from next week, Arsenal fly out to Dubai on Sunday. Then they've got the friendly starting next week. First game is on Thursday against Lyon. There'll be stuff around training there. There'll be some commercial events going on while Arsenal are away in Dubai. So we're going to start seeing a lot more media coming out from Arsenal. And that's going to certainly make it feel a lot closer towards Boxing Day and the return of proper Premier League football. There is, of course, the Watford friendly as well, which is going to come up over the next couple of days behind closed doors at London Colney. I think we will hear once that's happened. Arsenal keeping that under wraps at the moment. They don't want loads of people waiting outside the training ground. But that will come. I think Arsenal will put out a little sort of match report. I don't know if we'll see videos of the game or anything like that after, but that is happening this week before the players fly out to Sunday. Most of them have been back since Monday, but a few of the international guys who are playing in friendlies, Martin Odegaard, Fabio Vieira, those sort of players, they'll come back probably around now, right at the end of the week, have a couple of days before flying out to Dubai with the rest of the squad. All right, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do appreciate your time as always. Like I said, anything you agree with, disagree with, anything you want to say, please do let me know in the comments below. Until next time, have a great day. I'll speak to you soon.